So I thought I would switch it up today by taking us to Maui because if I had the money to be there right now, that's where I would be. Sitting on the beach in Hawaii, relaxing and enjoying myself. And I thought that this was perfect because the topic of what I wanted to talk about today actually has to do with money. So, a few days ago, I was putting together my April newsletter. And of course, in my newsletters, I talk about the classes that are coming up, the services that I offer. So I sent my newsletter out. And in response, I got an email from a woman who asked to unsubscribe from the newsletter, which is perfectly fine with me. But in her email, she said, in sort of a condescending way, you charge too much for your gifts. And being in the public eye, putting myself in the public eye as someone who does spiritual work as my career, a comment like that would have cut me 5 years ago, 7 years ago. But after almost 10 years of doing this, it didn't really, it didn't really faze me too much. But it did inspire this video, which has to do with charging for spiritual work, charging for spiritual services. And there seems to be a lot of issue, and there still seems to be just some negativity around that I want to look at and I want to dispel, or hopefully dispel. So, first thing, you charge too much money for your gifts. I do want to clarify that I don't consider my ability to connect with the past, present, future, my ability to connect with people on the other side, gifts. I'm not this gifted person. I don't walk around considering myself gifted. I'm not Paula Abdul. I don't think people should recognize me as the gift that I am, like she said in her reality show, which I thought was hilarious. But the healing that can come from those services, that's a gift. The ability to understand there's more to life than what we can see, sense, and touch, that's a gift. But me, myself, I am not the gift. I am just the messenger through which those messages and services pass through. So getting that out of the way. Second thing is, money is a symbol. Money is a symbol for time, energy, and self-worth and self-value. And so lots of times people have issues with psychics charging for their readings because they think if this gift is from God that it should be free. Well, I disagree. To me it's a talent, it's a capability. It's something that we have a knack for, whether you're a healer, a reader, a spiritual coach. And what you're paying for is not my ability or my gift. What you're paying for is my time, and you're paying for my energy. For me, I know when I first started doing psychic work, I worked for very little. And that was okay because at that time, that's what I was comfortable with. That matched my level of self-esteem and self-value, and it also matched my level of experience. But over the past 9 years, not only do I have different experiences under my belt, and different levels of accomplishment, but I invest a lot of time and energy into myself and reinvesting my money back into myself so I can be better to do what I do. When I first moved back to Ohio and I made the decision that I was going to work full-time as a psychic, I was really nervous that people weren't going to or that I wasn't going to be busy, that people weren't going to seek my services because I decided that I was going to charge $50 for a half an hour. Looking back now, I think that I've been busier than I ever have in my entire career. And just recently, I made the decision to change that to $75 an hour. This is the price that this particular woman said or believed was too much, charge too much for my services or charge too much for my gifts. And the thing is, as with anyone in any service, we all deserve to be compensated for our time and for our energy. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, artists. Why is it that people who are on the spiritual path are the ones who are targeted or the ones who are criticized for charging for their time and energy when other people with other gifts, other talents are not. And I think it's because that in our society we are taught that, at least from the spiritual approach, that money is bad because money equates materialism. And materialism is not of the heavens, it's not of spirituality. And even in Christianity, we have all of these things like it's easier for, you know, a rich man or it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man into the heaven or the kingdom of God to get into heaven. So we have all this idea that we need to separate ourselves from money. Money, that saying, money is the root of all evil, or the love of money is the root of all evil. And the fact of the matter is, yes, there is a ton of greed out there, and we don't need to be approaching things from a greed-based place. Even in things like Eastern philosophies, we have things like renouncing material possessions and simplicity. But here's the thing. It's like the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. We are spirit. We are in this earth. Not necessarily of this earth, but we are in this earth experience. And we need to be engaging this earth experience. And that requires money. It's just the truth. It's the society that we live in. It's the world that we live in. And what you feel comfortable charging and what you feel comfortable paying is a direct reflection of the level of value that you have on your own self, your own self-worth, your own self-esteem. So when this woman reacted to my $75 for a half hour, what she was reacting to, sadly, was her lack of own self-worth. For me, when I made that decision to go from $50 to $75, I struggled with that. And to be honest with you, sometimes I still do. And that's my own lesson of self-worth that I'm working on. Because when I charged $50, I didn't have an issue saying that. And the reason that I know that there's still some self-worth issues there is because sometimes when people ask what I charge now, I hesitate a little bit when I say $75 because I'm expecting a negative reaction from them. The other thing, too, is, you will attract the clients that are right for you, regardless what you're charging. If you feel that you're worth $75 an hour, you're going to charge those, or you're going to attract those clients that are willing to pay $75 an hour or $75 for a half an hour. The clients that I got at $50 for half an hour were not the same clients that I was getting at $30 or $40. And that's okay, because there are other people who are functioning from that place of $30 or $40 or whatever it may be. And I was worried that local clients would drop off. And to a degree, I did start seeing less local clients, but my distance work, my remote work started to pick up. And I started reading for people all around the world, all around the country, Australia, New Zealand, the Ukraine, Kenya, Ireland, and it was a really amazing thing, and it's because I decided to honor what I felt was right for me, because I decided to honor what I felt was right for my own self-worth. I know I've even been guilty of doing the same thing. There's a medium, his name's Anderson, last name's Anderson, George Anderson maybe. And anyways, I remember looking on his website one time that he was charging like $1,000 for a session. And that kind of infuriated me. And I was like, how can someone charge that much? And even though even at this point I still think that may be a little bit excessive, that's what he feels comfortable with. That's what he feels his time is worth. And guess what? People are paying for it. He's staying busy. And every time that I've raised my rates, I get busier. Not the other way around, but people are afraid to because they have this fear-based mentality or this shame-based mentality around money. Money is important. Money is an energy. It's the currency of energy. And that energy reflects relationships. And in the same way that we want a healthy relationship with our spirit, that means that we need to have a healthy relationship with money and a healthy relationship with our own self-worth. Our relationship with money is important. Money is important because it provides the opportunity for us to make decisions that can better empower ourselves and influence our life so we can go and do the same thing for other people. Yes, I'm a human being. Yes, I may have bills or rent or food or all those things we need as people to survive, and that's okay. And it's perfectly okay to charge for your time and energy to attain those things so I can survive continuing to provide the services that I provide. And I have no qualms about that. But a lot of people seem to have issues around people charging for spiritual-based services. You wouldn't expect a doctor to operate for free. You wouldn't expect a lawyer to work on your behalf for free. You wouldn't expect the person at McDonald's to make you a hamburger for free. So why would you have expectations of me or anyone else on a spiritual path that we should do the same thing? You are paying for my time and you are paying for my energy. And that time and energy is time and energy that I could be using working on missing persons, doing healings, doing readings, writing, teaching my classes, and educating in mass. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable, and you should charge accordingly to it. Now, that being said, you also need to have a healthy relationship with your worth. If you did a 2-day seminar on psychic development, you're not going to run out and start charging, $60 for a half hour right off the bat. It should reflect your level of experience, your level of comfortability, your accomplishments, what you invest back in yourself. And that's why you need to have a healthy relationship with your own soul, a healthy relationship with your own spirit, and a healthy relationship with the currency of money, because it directly affects and relates to your self-value, your self-worth. And that's why doing the work on yourself is important, to have self-esteem and to have self-worth, so that your life experiences can be reflected in that. And that does include your finances, and that does include money. The church, money is bad. We'll take it. Give it to us. Give us your money. But no, you don't need a lot of money. Money creates problems. Money doesn't create problems. It can create problems. But what money does is it gives you options. A friend of mine said to me one time, she said it repeatedly, but she said, money can't buy you happiness. What money does is give you choices. What money does is it gives you options. And those options can be decisions used to better your life and better the lives of other people. And that's what it's about. It's about being of service. But guess what? My services don't come free, and neither should yours. That being said, too, I give back. And I think we all should. I do readings pro bono when spirit guides me to, when my heart, my personal convictions lead me to. There are instances, especially around parents that have lost children, where I do not charge for those sessions, because that to me is my way of giving back. I give lectures for free and radio shows for free, because that's my way of spreading my message and educating myself and giving back. And that to me is what I think keeps this flow of giving and receiving in balance, because giving and receiving are one and the same. When we give, we are handing to ourselves. When we receive, we are taking from ourselves. And there are 6 billion other people on this planet running around, but guess what? There are just 6 billion different aspects of you. So what you give and what you put out to people are what you're giving and receiving for yourself. And that includes seeing the value and the worth of other people. So if you have questions or comments, or even if you have a rebuttal to anything that I've said about charging for spiritual services, feel free to drop a comment below or email me. My website is psychictravissanders.com, and my email is travispsychic@yahoo.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Now I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my time on this imaginary beach with all of them.